Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday. It's weird. You can almost set your clock by how Tuesdays come around every so often. It is the last day of April. Isn't that funny? I don't know why I did that. I don't use that anymore. You have my bean depository device. By the way, a weird fun phenomenon happened. Somebody actually asked me where I got something. So that doesn't happen. This is the first time in like a year anybody's like, where'd you get that? This is an Amazon buy. I'll put the link to it in the description. I'm not affiliated or have any kind of site or to sell crap or anything like that, but it's been great. The opening is a decent size to get the beans out when you're pouring, which seemed to be an obstacle for some of these things that you would buy on Amazon, how they're fired and whatnot. This one seems nice and slippery, so the beans will slide right out. Some of the porcelain that I saw, the beans were like holding steady against like a weird, almost unfinished bottom. These feel finished. Every one of them is going to be different, so your mileage may vary, but I'll put that on the description so that if you're looking for something, because I had to go looking, I didn't even know what they were called. I'll even put the name of what they're called because right now it's escaping me. So, and before I get into the heavy stuff, something else, I bought this. This is from Highwave. It's a Raktajino mug from DS9. I saw someone selling them for $250 to $300 because they were making them themselves. And it's like, don't these still exist? And apparently they do. They do still exist. They got this nice little rubber bottom. So they're great that way. And then if you don't overfill it, it actually has a cap you can put in there and lock them in. And then the water technically won't get out. So that's pretty cool. At the very least, it won't slosh around as much. I'm sure it could probably still spill because there's no rubber on this at all. It's all plastic. But it'll keep it from sloshing around if you got it in your car, because whose car doesn't have a cup holder that's got that big ass of a base? Anyhow, I like this mug. It's nice. It's got a nice heft to it. There's just enough in there and room in there to put coffee in. It's absolutely fantastic. Another reason for Matt to go, why? What did you buy and why? So it's always fun, always fun. I had a dog a long time ago, and well, we had a dog before that too, but I don't even remember the name of it. It was a Cocker Spaniel, and it was in a blink of an eye. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember playing with it. I don't remember having anything to do with it. It was there and then it was gone. But this dog, the second dog, found us. And the sad part about living where we lived was that we were an animal dumping ground. We had cats and dogs and hamsters and just like those kind of animals. They would come out because we lived down on a rural route. There were no police. There's nobody for miles in so many directions. So they would come out and they would dump their unwanted pets. We've gotten two animals that way. Snoopy was one of them, and Snoopy was a dog, and he was a cool dog. He was a mutt, more or less. Somebody said he might have had blue heel in him and blah, 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 and whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter. He was a mutt. We were playing outside in the driveway one day. We heard yapping, sad, hungry yapping, and we looked down the driveway, and up running towards us was a dog tripping over a puppy tripping over its own ears to get to us. And my father hates dogs, which is ironic because he worked for so many years in a dog food processing plant. But anyway, so Dad hated dogs, but because he saw how we felt about this dog, we got to keep it. So we named him Snoopy, and he was the coolest dog. I miss him very much. He was just the most faithful companion. He would go with us everywhere when we walked around the hillside, down to Granddad's, back up. He would go halfway down to Granddad's and then he'd go back up to the house. He really didn't want to hang around down there at Granddad's house. We had a dog house for him. It was a nice dog house. I know I said Dad hated dogs, but he's a very soft individual when it comes to animals. So he built him a really nice dog house. Snoopy wasn't allowed in the house, but we would bring him in the house when Dad wasn't home, and I would be back in my bedroom doing homework on the bed, and Snoopy would be laying on the bed with me. So it's just one of those core memories of having an animal that was absolutely the best part of growing up. And it was really funny because he just came running up the driveway. It was like somebody just dumped him as a puppy somewhere along that stretch of road, and he heard our voices playing, and he came running up the driveway. It was pretty amazing. I wish I could remember more about him. I haven't even done the coffee yet.
And someone is here, you haven't done the coffee.
But, so Ramble Coffee, Columbia, Nariño. This is the stuff that I got from Farmer's Market, Westerville of Worthington, probably Worthington. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna see how much I can put in here. We're gonna do about 28 grams, I think. This stuff smells really good. Yeah, such good stuff. It was roasted at the end of February. Still good, still strong, still smells amazing. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this here. I'm gonna put it on the beans because that's what civilized people do. And I'm going to get them coated. And then we're going to add them in there. See, no problems, no worries, all good. And then we're going to grind them, and then I'll continue. Smells so good. And, anyway, I guess more or less I was just kind of futzing around trying to find stories about him. I just thought it was, he was a cool dog and very protective of us, protective of our friends too. Our friends would come over and hang out, and we would and when we would go sleigh riding, he would grab at us, because he didn't want, I don't know why. I like to assume that he wanted to grab at us to keep us from hurting ourselves. I don't know. I think he was just being chased and playful. But anyway, I'm sorry, the dogs, so the dogs, the wild dogs hurt Snoopy for whatever reason. I don't know why. And yes, are you enjoying the story? You registering a complaint? Yeah, that's what I figured. So mom doctored, well, she's a nurse, but she doctored Snoopy for like a week and a half. He had a really terrible gash in his side, and she just took care of him. And I just remember that being a thing for the rest of his life with us, because there was a point where, and not to get too graphic, and I know it can be a little off-putting, some words and phrases, but there was a beagle that lived across the creek that came into heat one spring, and Snoopy was all about it. And he would Houdini himself out of every collar and harness Dad put him in. So, and this, we'd had him for, I almost want to say a decade at that point. And Dad said, well, if you want to go, he took off his collar and he took off his, I would think I might have been in college. I don't know. I was gone. Go, if you want to go, go. So Dad took off his harness and removed his collar and said, go. And Snoopy went. And it was the last time anyone ever saw him. So I assume, and I don't know if it's true or not, it's just what I like to do in my head sometimes. I like to just think, hey, maybe he's had a wonderful life after that, had puppies with another dog, and life was great, and then he just died of old age. It's better to think that way rather than to mull in your head the terrible things that might have happened. Yeah, you're very talky today. You don't like me laughing at you, do you? No, you don't. She says, talk about me. Why are you talking about some stupid dog? Dogs are crap. She doesn't know what a dog is. So anyway, it was just all of this talk about a horrible person doing something to a puppy this week last week. It's not going to stop. So, I don't know. I just thought, it's just... You can tell the character of an individual by the way they react in certain situations off the cuff, just immediate reaction. Boom, what do you do? Well, dog's acting terrible. I'm going to kill it. She's a horrible human being. She's terrible. A terrible human being. Don't put that in office. Don't put that in office. To get that out of office and don't put it back in any other office. I mean, it's just, ugh. There are circumstances. No, there aren't. There are not. Everything is clear and concise, and we know exactly what happened as was described in someone's book, their book, as far as I'm aware. So, fuck them. People are just awful. People can be just awful, and it smells nice though. Almost got a caramel smell to it. They say there's a cocoa and a praline and a dark cherry. Praline. I think you can go both ways. It smells very caramel-like. See, it's kind of funny. Also, I'm remembering back to that whole thing where NASA developed a coffee cup or a cup for space people. And the inside of this kind of reminds me. I mean, but I think it makes for funneling coffee. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that dark cherry, kind of a little tart, a little kick, and then a nice little cocoa flavor. Like I said, it smells and tastes a little bit more like caramel a little bit as well. There's a little caramel flavor in there. It's really nice. And then so we're just hitting all the hits today. And then speaking about bears, I'm sorry about this. It had a face, and it had a cute face because it had little hearts for eyes. But unfortunately, the car got just a little bit warmer as we were bringing it home. So unfortunately, my strawberry buttercream bread bear has met an unfortunate accident. But yeah, speaking of bears, and then these are melon rolls. You put cookies on the top, and then the bottom, and there's no melon in it. It's just called a melon roll because of its shape. But it's like got a cookie top to it, and then like a roll, almost bready kind of consistency in some parts. But it's mostly cookie, the cookie kind of top to it. They're absolutely delicious. I don't buy anything that's not delicious. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'll pepper in some pictures of Snoopy. I found my old photo album, and I thought, you know what? I've got these pictures. Maybe people would be interested in seeing Snoopy because I mean it's really cool. He was a cool dog, and I think we've had at least half a dozen animals at that house at any given time. And Mom and Dad only purchased 3 outright. Unfortunately, it was from one of those pet seller retail places that was in the mall kind of things, gross places. We really didn't have, I mean, I think we had an animal shelter, but I don't think Mom and Dad definitely didn't go there. But we had 2 cats, one named Tigger, and the other one named Rastus, not named by me. And then the Cocker Spaniel, who had a very short time with us. I don't want to be unpleasant, but I'm pretty sure they were hit by a car. Yeah. And then, Snoopy came running up the driveway, like I said, tripping over his giant ears that he grew into. And then so many other cats that we've owned. That was the last dog. Dad, there have never been another dog. Dad won't have another dog. He won't have a dog, period, anymore. But the cats have all been dropped off. I guess Shadow was rescued. Shadow was a kitten on a farm where Dad worked at one point, and dogs had backed it into a bramble patch, and he scratched and dug the whole hell of his arms and shoulders up, getting into that briar patch to rescue that kitten. And then that kitten stayed at our house for 15 years and then passed away. And then his current cat, we saved from the top of a tree because some animal must have chased it up to the top of the tree and she couldn't get down. So, it was a very tall tree. So I had to grab an old dead tree from the bottom of the forest and prop it up so that she had a nice angle to climb down. And then she never left. And Dad's taken care of her ever since. And she's getting up there and old now. So that's going to be a really sad time. Again, Shadow was an incredibly sad time at the house. But Fluffers is going to be just as sad, if not a little worse. So just because Fluffers loves to follow him everywhere, she'll also run in and tell Mom when he's doing something he shouldn't be doing. And she'll jump in the wheelbarrow when Dad's moving the dirt around. So she'll jump into an empty wheelbarrow, and then she'll jump into a full wheelbarrow, and then just ride around with him. She's a funny little thing. So, and then hisses at me because I do look kind of like my father. I look very much like my father. And the weekends I'll stay the night there. And they have to leave and do something in the morning when I go to the bathroom. She has a bathroom routine with Dad, and she'll walk in thinking it's him and then see me and then hiss at me because apparently I've tricked her. She's a really funny cat. She really is. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. We'll see what we can dig out of the cabinet. Apparently, I'm an example. Because Matt came upstairs and took a picture of all my coffee up there and sent it to our friend Jose. And Jose was, I don't know if it was an impressed whoa or a I'm worried about you whoa. So it's very possible it could have been both. Could have been something else. But we will talk to you tomorrow. I'll find another coffee and we will drink it together because we should drink together often. Have a great day. Bye.